Goeienaand julle, welkom terug by my kanaal. Vandag is ons by 'n nuwe playthrough. Game se naam is Sunlight. Die focus op die game is maar net exploration en so tipe hike wat jy doen, soos deur 'n woudkloof wat jy klomp bome kan ondersoek en dan lyk my soos 'n storie wat vertel word. So game wat ek nou nie so baie speel nie, so is heeltemal nuut vir my. So kom ons sê ons is reg.
Welcome. Are you sitting comfortably? Are you focused and not thinking about whatever's bothering you these days? I'm not here to test you. Please relax. Let your thoughts come and go and listen as they fade away in the distance. For better or for worse, this is where your life has brought you. Looking at a screen, listening to me. Imagine for a moment that you've just had a child. It's healthy, but unfortunately also completely blind. For their whole life, they will live in the dark and not see a thing. Their perception of reality is something that you might never be able to comprehend. How would you describe the world to them? What can't be touched or heard, smelled or tasted? How would you describe sunlight? By what it does? Or how it feels on their skin? I think I'd play them this piece of music. First composed by Tchaikovsky in 1878, these rays of light have traveled through decade after decade, finally reaching your ears this very moment. You have also traveled far to get here today, but you're only passing through and should probably get going.
Seker begin julle. Sê wat hulle al gesê het toe die game
While you're here, I'd like to tell you a story. It all happened to me when I was young, walking in a forest much like you are. Those were days filled with boundaries and rules. Of no running in the hallways, don't do this or that or the other. With my world full of fierce discipline, I walked the forest to breathe. One day, deep in the woods, I found a funny-looking tree, crooked, old, and wrinkly. With a little work, a few bits of bark became huge ships. Calm creeks turned to ferocious oceans. I can still recall the people I imagined dragged downstream with a sense of guilt.
As I gazed back upon the old tree, I noticed something peculiar. It was crying. Every crumple, like eyes closed tightly. Clear drops streaming silently down
its wrinkly skin.
So I did as children do.
Tasted it. Not because it looked tasty,
But to figure out what it was. The first drop
made my tongue tingle. The second made it prickle. And the very moment the third landed on my tongue,
a profound sensation spread through my chest.
undefinable, like thirst, both vague and specific. One thing was clear. Something was changing within me.
I remember breathing in and out, feeding
The fire.
Okay, so ek keer so toe gaan na die brou toe. En wat ek wou sê is, hierdie, dis gesverfde skilderye tipe effek wat hulle gee in die game. So jy kan sien hierdie, daar is klompie brous. Bombs. So jy weet hierdie tot doen. Jy moet seker na dit toe gaan op hier nou op klik.
The following day, I woke to a slight prickle in my fingertips. I studied them closely, discovering circular ridges in the foreign landscapes
Of my skin. The prickling soon slipped my attention.
It would be another week until it returned. A wave of gentle needles
moving over my skin.
a limb falling asleep, perhaps. I did not start worrying until it returned
for the third time.
first making its way up my neck, before engulfing my skull
completely from behind. I could even feel the tiny needles covering my eyeballs.
But it did not stop there.
I held my breath as the small thorns crawled around my lips before spreading into my lungs and stomach. My awareness spread with it, and I remember the strangest sensation
Of my mushy dinner in there, as if
I held the remains in the palm of my hand.
Iets wat ek moet tel. Ek kyk nou as ek hier op terug en daai nou disappear.
Suddenly, my body took control and opened my mouth, an explosion of air rushing into my lungs.
The tingling spread with it through an endless web of veins.
Soon reaching my beating heart, for a moment I stood in awe of the activity within my body.
I felt my heart beating faster and my
my skin
skin
sweating. Your body is your
Only
own
vessel in this world. And when it misbehaves,
The claustrophobia is total.
Seek help.
I felt. And at that very moment, the tingling needles shot through my brain.
I felt them scatter through my upper leg, where muscles contracted to lift my knee. My body weight shifted forward, and a shockwave spread from the foot sole as it landed softly on the ground. The process repeated itself in greater detail for every step. I was overwhelmed,
But my body
Kept moving.
I did not at all feel like
the boss, giving directions. It all happened automatically, and I
Was simply along for the ride. Like you.
Ek draai nie te veel praat want hulle praat baie, so hulle nie dit spoil vir julle nie. Dis 'n vreemde game wat ek hier speel. Eerste keer dat ek so iets speel. Interessant. Ek moet sê, ek kan in enige rigting gaan.
The doctor's office was cold and white.
Crossing the floor,
felt like a polar expedition. My parents' distant features of the landscape. I wanted to explain, but
was unable.
My lips and tongue engaged in an intricate choreography, myself in the audience observing the words performed.
My lips muttered, "I'm sure it will pass."
While my thoughts were crying for help.
Daarso nog. Ag nou hierdie een voor my. Ek net al hierdie bommetjies optel, julle, dat hulle nou wys met die glow. Ek daar's iets anders wat ek kan doen. Dit is die verskillende
The
blomme.
conversation kept going, but I stopped paying attention. Instead, I was following the hands of the clock mounted on the doctor's wall. They were both speeding up and slowing down. I was slipping further and further away. A levitating camera in a video game, merging with the code it was running on.
Again with the binary, with the electronic circuit, and so on. I closed my eyes and let my sensations lead me.
First, I spent some time with my bones. Among their many functions, I got lost in their continuous breathing.
An uninterrupted flow of calcium absorbed and released. Even my skeleton was alive and living.
In and of itself. I could feel my mind clinging to the known, to the clattering thoughts,
The buzzing of memories and fears of the future. But for each breath, tension was released,
and my shoulders sunk comfortably.
It had certainly felt like I was
in there.
Somewhere by my face. But I was nowhere to be found.
Gaan, dan hoor jy duidelik,
And the more I
jammer julle.
looked,
The more hazy I became.
Lekker stupid. Sorry julle. Ons kom altyd te laat agter. Sien as jy naby die bome wat helder is. Ja. Kyk hoe lyk daai blom. Hy lyk so. Ja, is dieselfde. So jy kan, hulle sê dit maar daar as jy daai rigting geloop het. Is hier dieselfde, kom ons kyk nog so een. Kom ons gaan kyk hoe lyk hierheen. Dalk verbeel ek my. Hier is dieselfde. Seker net as jy nou daai kant toe sou loop. Ja. Hier is nog so een. Hoe lyk hierheen? Hoe lyk hy anderste? So ver of lyk 'n bietjie anderste? Ook iets seker, verbeel my daar. Hy lyk actually anderste. Ons vat hom.
When my eyelids eventually opened,
They felt as slow as a sunrise. Photons convert to new signals shooting along the optic nerve, each carrying a piece of information into the darkness.
The brain categorized motion, color, edges, distance. I sat for a moment in the dusk.
watching the sunrise. The world eventually lit up.
I was no longer wondering why matter lights up from the inside.
My experience had changed
From the fire, to the light it is.
But it would get much stranger still.
Ek like hierdie game. Die musiek in die agtergrond, julle, is perfek. Ek vir hierdie een gaan of daai een? Eentjie bonk, ja, vat jy. Hy is mooi blauw. Ok, maar ek het so een. Kom ons kyk hoe lyk daai een daar. Hoop jy dit iets om te drink? Ek het. Ok, hy lyk ook soos jy wat te klaar het. Geel.
As the moment stretched, I started daydreaming.
Or so I thought. It began as a shimmering field,
creeping slowly in from the periphery of my vision.
The hands of the clock,
Still moving, but among them vague shapes.
slowly but surely.
I saw trees flowing past me, and among them, myself.
Sitting right there in the doctor's office with a vacant expression.
While walking around myself, I was surprised to still see the clock straight ahead.
Myself from the side, the clock on the wall.
the two images were not overlapping. They just coexisted.
Like imagining a familiar place with your eyes closed and you see both nothing
And something at the same time.
I turned to look
Towards myself, but saw only the face of the doctor
Lingering somewhere between confusion, concern, and annoyance. However, when I studied his face closer,
I was struck by terror.
the image of myself.
Had turned to look straight
Ons volg die son 'n bietjie na hierdie boomte.
I felt
my own hand reach out towards myself.
The weight of my hand landed softly on my own shoulder.
Eyes distant.
Looking at the doctor, looking at myself. Rules and boundaries disappearing.
Hele, daar lyk soos 'n ek gaan 'n bietjie ondersoek en staan met verskillende blomme wat ek kan vat voordat ek vat. So ek gaan nou na daai een toe, dan sal ek nog van regs af links werk. Ek gaan nie heeltemal, daar's nog twee, ek kan heeltemal die 360 doen. Kom ons kyk hierdie een, hy is geel, ek het 'n geel een. Ons van hier af sien hoe lyk daai een. Kijk, ek sal net daai een gaan check as ek terugloop en net omgaan. Ek gaan nou nie heeltemal omloop nie. Nou kyk vir 'n ander een. Dit is nie verskillende endings gekry hang af wat se tipe blomme jy het nie. Steen is 'n groene. Ek wil dalk nie groene vat nie, dalk is dit hartseerder blom of iets dat jy 'n ander ending kry wat ek wil try vroolike kleure kry. So geel is vrolik. Groen 'n bietjie donker kant. Ek weet nie, ek try nou maar. Ek wil nie nou net vat wat ek kry eers nie. En daai was 'n gele gewees, kom kyk hoe lyk hierdie een. Ja, hy is 'n ander een. Hy lyk amper soos 'n roos. Kom ons kyk net hoe lyk hierdie een, dan sal ek terugkom na daai. Lyk hy het nog nie uitgekom. Nog 'n blou. Kom ons vat daar aan hier, ons het nie... Ons vat hier.
Spreading, a delicate wave of nostalgia washing over me.
Intimate recollections of past sorrows, relationships, education, and even medical experience.
And at last,
I was no longer
alone. Not in the sense that the
doctor was there in the room, but rather that we were together in the darkness of my mind.
A vast number of sensations were still flowing, but now
we were two observers to share the burden.
And as I kept breathing, the fire kept spreading.
Soon, it swallowed my parents, sitting in their chairs, doubting my story.
I felt contradicting opinions and ideas coexist,
but not in conflict.
Different notes in harmonious chords, shaping a balanced, indivisible whole.
More clouds
spread to my vision, and all sensations through my body. The music was evolving.
I looked at my hand. 5 fingers
against the surface
felt no different than 5 bodies or minds.
Branches becoming aware
that they were connected to the same trunk all along. Their experience my own, all of them present in my mind.
Ek gaan nou 'n vrolike wil vat, ek gaan nou nie weer daaraan. Soos die geel en die blou. Rooi iemand. Maar nie groen. Waarom wat nog hier?
The prickling kept spreading. Each needle on my skin, another presence in my mind. More and more observers sharing the burden. A vast number of sensations flowing. My world, like musical sunlight, just passing through.
every individual going about their business, strangers on the street unaware that they were all each other.
Their surroundings, and me. I knew and felt them all as I knew and felt myself. And I could no longer feel contempt.
Or that anyone was somehow less deserving. There was no longer me and you, no us
Versus them. It was all just
Me. As I kept breathing in
And out.
each new breath pushed me along a ubiquitous landscape that was simply too beautiful to ignore.
What lay past each tree and beyond every hill was another idea I knew to be true.
mountains.
Transient shadows of matter flowing through time.
Slowly from one point of view, but for the mountain itself, oh boy.
it's in a hurry, like everyone else.
Both the whirlpool and the stream.
An expression of energy floating through empty space.
All experiences merging to one.
There I was.
All of us, you, me, I. The light that shines through the film.
All else is smoke and mirrors.
Ek hoop ek moet 'n spesifieke orde hê of 'n spesifieke blom hê.
As with all stories, this one also ends.
Not
because the story has an ending,
but because it keeps moving, leaving us behind.
My
My
body
body kept living like yours will, with surfaces preserving its illusion of separateness. This scream,
Our very eyes.
I couldn't tell if I ascended or dissolved.
I'm soaring through space, but unable to move, nevertheless.
and as I turn in orbit, the boundary between light and dark keeps moving. A cascading wave of thoughts.
arriving at dawn, just to slip away at dusk.
A violent competition on a speck of dust suspended in nothing.
An energy field fumbling in the dark, trying to describe myself.
I want to be safe, well fed, not too warm, not too cold,
to be acknowledged by my closest.
So even though you are another part of me looking back, you will always be a stranger, a lump of resources
For my exploitation, the branch is cut, our hemispheres
Separated once again. Rocks skipping along the surface,
never sinking in.
The inconsistent dash of beauty between the noise.
Picked up by a stranger with good intentions, and with it sentenced to die.
I don't care who you are or how you found me.
But we are both reaching in. A few lonely rays,
Venturing through space in just the right direction.
absorbed in our leaves, stored as sweet sugars, and exhaled as
Crisp and clean oxygen.
And while the light warms our skin, or while we wait for the next sunrise,
We breathe in.
All that matters is that you are here, right now.
And for a moment, we are together.
you and me as one.
Like we always are.
And we always will be.
Okay. Kyk wat ek hierdie eggs gekry, hulle, hel. Kyk al hierdie bome, is afgekap. Dis wat hulle moes in die rainforest. Daar is die stroos, ek na die boom toe. Daar, al hierdie boom. Daar's dit kon. Die guy is klaar, maar kan ons rondloop. Erg julle. Okay. Ek weg maar weer van vooraf kan speel. Die Gabriel luid. Norwegian Film Institute. Daar sê julle die game klaar gemaak. Tel maar net die storie van die bout. Dit was wat hulle van praat. Nou nie baie mooi geluister nie. Beter geluister het, maar ja. Daarom hierheen vir julle klaar. Ek hoop ek sien jou by die volgende Let's Play. Cheers, bye bye, bye bye.